What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Chop Zone. This is going to be part 2 of a video I did last week on using the snapshot filter with Jigsaw Daytradr to trade ES futures. My name is Jeremy Clark, your host. You can find me at Phils Jackson on Twitter or at Premium FTS. That's the Premium Tier Futures Discord. You're welcome to join. It's free. We just talk about trading and share ideas. So to jump right in, on Thursday, I was looking at a higher time frame range, and you can see that price had gone up to over 7,000 on ES. It had dropped down. So I knew that we're in balance, and inside that balance, there was another range that I was watching. A smaller range just below the midline. I just want to go over why I marked it the way I did and why I could have traded it. I did not take this trade, but I caught this on video, and it was a really nice example. So I'm just going to show you the range idea first. Price had come up here and made a new high, and then we tested this low right here, and this low had held as support. Now, if this is a true accumulation or a full-fledged Wyckoff rotation, I want to see, more bottom touches. And when I say a bottom touch, what I mean is I want to see a bottom touch that goes all the way to the high. So we got one right there. We got one right there. That's 2. Look at this one. It only went to the midline. Now, when that happens and it's a good range, good rotation, the next attempt will generally go to the high, and that's what we got. So we got a midline test followed by a test of the high. That's only 3. So I'd like to see a 4th test of the bottom. I was expecting a false breakout. We got little candlestick confirmation here. It also happened to be right near the midline of the higher time frame rotation. See that? Right around 69.71. Okay, so I was anticipating a false breakout and continuation to the bottom. Now, we didn't get that right away. You'll notice it went to the middle of the range. It bounced off VWAP. It hugged the middle of the range, failed under the high, and then came down, failed again, and then we finally got that 4th touch right there. So that would have been top to bottom right there. Okay, so that was the setup. We had a lot of chop happening inside this range. You can see prices holding a lot of times above, but part of the time below the midline. So just very choppy. Then we had this nice breakout, looked really good. It's going to take off, then it failed. This happens all the time when price is in balance. I should say when price is in balance as opposed to imbalanced. Imbalanced just meaning it is going to keep rotating and being attracted to the 69.59 level. Okay, so moving on. Let's go over to the correlated markets. And I'm just going to highlight a couple things for you here. Notice we have the heat map for MNQ. We've got the micro NASDAQ DOM. We've got the NASDAQ DOM next to it. We have the micro ES and the Dow. And this is the liquidity heat map on the left. And I'm just circling some key areas, key levels that I kind of keep my eye on when I'm doing, when I'm watching these correlated markets. I'm going to jump ahead. So there we go. And I'm going to pause this for a second. just go back and refresh on what we're looking at here. So I'm looking for price to fail 69.72 and to fail under 69.66 or 69.65. And that's when I could have gone short. And we got this really great directional move. And let's just take a look at this here. Okay, we're good, nice and speedy. So what I'm keeping my eye on here is this middle column, the snapshot filter. And notice there's kind of a sell wall happening on the NASDAQs, on the Qs. There is some large liquidity on the micro ES. Notice there's this absorption happening. There's not a lot of liquidity coming in above. There's really nothing below. But we are getting this absorption. So I'm keeping my eye on these. On the snapshot filter, we notice we're at value area high. And then over on the micro ES, we're past value area high and we're testing just under IB high, right around 69.70. So that's a good spot for a potential reversal. I'm going to move this ahead to about 52 minutes. And again, just keeping my eye on this snapshot filter in the middle. You'll notice over on the left we had this these large volume circle absorptions, and you can see liquidity is coming in lower now. So what I want to see is I want to see the blue box of the snapshot filter getting larger than the red box, and I want to see that across the board. I'd like to see sell walls happening. Looks like there's one forming here on the micros, kind of mirrored in NASDAQ, mirrored in ES or MES. And then let's just move this forward a little bit. So we have this, you can see these absorptions that were happening. Look how price dropped off right there. And this is the micro NASDAQ that we're looking at, the heat map. And I think I just pulled up, this is the MES heat map, just to compare it. There's your absorptions happening at that level, 69.68 roughly. Scrolling ahead. So again, I want to keep my eye on this center column, and you want to see larger numbers coming in, that 166 to 2. Underneath this absorption at the left, I'm highlighting some first and second entry of sellers. You can see it's 1659 and 2268. So for continuation, I want to see that larger number keep coming in on the blue box on the bid, meaning they're expecting price to come down to them. They're expecting to get filled on the bid, so they are offering liquidity lower. And if they're offering liquidity lower and you're getting aggression lower, the combination of those two things can be very powerful for a directional move. So I've kind of trained my eyes to look at these two at the same time, and then I might switch and look at the Dow and MES, kind of pulling back away from the screen and letting my eyes kind of digest all four at once. You get used to it. It's weird. You start looking at one side of the screen with your left eye and one with the right. You're sort of stereoscopic vision. You notice all these buyers on the third DOM on MES got absorbed. Big numbers here, 3,000, 2,000. And you'll notice the big number towards the bottom coming in. Now they're offering and they're bidding. And notice how the blue box is bigger. Blue box is bigger, blue box is bigger, blue box is bigger. So across the board, they're offering liquidity to the downside. So I'm just kind of keeping my eyes right in here. And I like to watch the cues when I'm trading ES futures. So because they tend to move first. The Dow also kind of jumps around quite a bit aggressively. So if the Dow starts moving, you'll probably see the Q start moving. So there's a little pullback, and then look at that big number, 130 coming in here. 72 on the offer, now 76, 127. So you can see consistently you're getting bigger numbers to the downside. Look at all these sellers on NQ. There's your second entry on the micros, larger number on the bid. And I'm just circling, this is the delta, this side column right here. And the delta is just the bids minus the ask, or the ask minus the bids, whichever one is bigger. So it gives you a good sense that there's a lot of sellers in here, a lot of sellers, a lot of buyers got absorbed here on the micro ES, and price started to fall off. Again, we've got larger numbers coming in on the bid, larger numbers on the bid, larger numbers on the bid. This is getting ready to move. And you'll notice you consistently get larger numbers on the bid with occasionally large numbers on the offer filling in, but it doesn't go up higher when that happens. So that's key. We're approaching VPOC, session VPOC around 41 of the micro. I don't know what the whole price is there. I just have it kind of compressed. But again, 105. Okay, price is pulling back a little bit. Keeping my eye right here. And we're at like 62, 6062 on ES. I'm just highlighting that liquidity coming down on to the downside on MES. And again, you're seeing larger orders hitting the bid. This is starting to look like a real continuation. Look at them all moving in sync. You've got the momentum tails. Look at that drop. Notice that these are all larger numbers coming in consistently. When you do get big numbers on the offer, they get taken up and price continues to move down. That was a great directional move right there. We just lost 3 points. See if it has any more gas. I mean, all this delta goes to the sellers. So we're getting large numbers to the downside. Are we going to test and break value area low on the Qs? Notice the large liquidity on the bid. 243 to 50 on MES. Can we break through this little block of buyers? I'm going to go back over here to the micro NASDAQ. You can see there's liquidity coming into the downside. There's more on the heat map than there is to the upside. So barring a big move through that, we're starting to look good for a good drop. There it goes. Notice the large number on the snapshot filter. Across the board, you're getting larger numbers in the blue box of the snapshot filter, showing you that continuation. And that's what I like to see in correlated markets to confirm or validate a trade idea. I want to wait for that blue box to fill up with larger orders. And what that's telling me is at the best price, the best bid, which was like 21.75, you just got 130 added, 130 resting limit orders added. We're testing value area low. There can be a little bit of support, a little demand right there. It's fighting it. Oh, and it's pushing through. See the big numbers coming in. And then I'm also paying attention to the tape. So you have this big print right here of 326. If you're seeing larger numbers, larger sellers to the downside paired with more orders on the bid, higher number of orders on the bid, it's another good sign of continuation. So that was value area low. We did get a nice bounce right there. Let's see if it's got any more juice to keep going lower. Kind of testing back into that value area range below VPOC. And it's trying to go back up to VPOC. Again, we're getting those large numbers to the downside on the snapshot filter in the blue box. Let's see if we got, or was that the end of it? I think that was the end of it. So that was a good example of a range trade. If I go back to our, let's go back to the chart. So that move would have been, we were capturing it from the failure at the 60s down to 59 area, which was the midline. And you'll notice this big consolidation right here. And that would have been that VPOC. Let's just double check that, make sure I'm correct. So we scrolled over to the back. Looking right here, 62 was the VPOC on MES, as was 57 the VWAP. So right in here, that's 62 was the point of control. I think I said 57. Well, that's right here, the blue line, 57. So a good range trade, you could have targeted the top of the line, top of the range, and gone heavy towards the midline, maybe held a runner to VWAP, and then I would have exited there just more conservatively, but it still had potential to test the bottom because, again, we'd only had 4 full tests. I'm sorry, we'd only had 3 full tests. So I like that for a full test of the range. Let's see, there's 1. There's 2. There's a halfie. There's 3. There's another halfie. And 4. All right, guys. I hope you got something out of that video. Feel free to hit me up with any questions in the comments. And I hope you guys have a good green trading day out there. I will catch you on the next one.